What if I told you that not all stories about the Wild West were embellished? That not all were romanticized? What if I told you a man lived up to the reputation of what the American frontier was? Now close your eyes and imagine a tall, muscular, mustached man of color with a big black Stetson hat and a silver star pinned to the lapel of his vest. This is Bass Reeves. His story doesn't need fabrication because once you hear his story, you'll think it's one of fabrication. So on this installment of Legends of the American West, our guest of honor is Deputy U.S. Marshal Bass Reeves. Enjoy. Our story begins July 1838 in Crawford County, Arkansas, where Reeves was born into slavery to enslaver William Steele Reeves, but was moved and raised in LAMAR and Grayson counties, Texas, to serve his son, George R. Reeves. In 1861, at the start of the American Civil War, Bass Reeves accompanied his enslaver to battle fighting for the Confederate Army. However, Bass' time in Confederate camps was short-lived, as reports say a dispute over a card game caused Bass to beat his master inches from death, then proceeding to flee to Oklahoma, what was then known as Indian Territory. Reeves lived amongst the Creek, Cherokee, Seminole, Chickasaw, and Choctaw tribes. During this stint, he learned these 5 nations' languages fluently, and it is said that he served with the Union Indian Home Guard regiments until the Emancipation Proclamation was set forth, along with the 13th Amendment, which granted Reeves, along with every other black U.S. citizen, their freedom. Following these events, Reeves moved back to Arkansas, settling in Van Buren, to become a farmer. He would marry a Texas girl named NELLIE JENNIE and have 10 kids, 5 boys and 5 girls. Whilst farming for the next couple years, Reeves would aid U.S. Marshals by guiding them through Indian Territory, as he knew it very well. Like a cook knows her kitchen, he would boast. In 1875, President Grant appointed Judge Isaac C. Parker to the Fort Smith Federal Court. Parker appointed James F. Fagan to U.S. Marshal and had directed him to hire 200 Deputy U.S. Marshals. Fagan had known about Reeves' expertise of the Indian Territory, as well as him speaking several of their languages. Reeves accepted the position of Deputy U.S. Marshal and became one of the first black Deputy U.S. Marshals west of the Mississippi River. His jurisdiction would consist of the Western District of Arkansas, which included Indian Territory. Reeves had worked this district until 1893, where he was transferred to the Eastern District of Texas, located in Paris, Texas. Then again was transferred to the Muskogee Federal Court in 1897. 1907 came in Oklahoma, where Muskogee was located, gained statehood, where Reeves, now 68, took a position as an officer in the Muskogee Police Department. However, this would be the last time Reeves would serve justice, as he fell ill with Bright's disease, and on January 12, 1910, Bass Reeves had passed away. Being one of Judge Parker's most valued deputies, Reeves apprehended some of the country's most dangerous criminals. Standing 6 feet 2 and weighing 180 pounds, intimidation was just one of the traits the lawman possessed. He possessed excellent marksmanship not only with his rifle, but with his 2 revolvers as well. One story states that he hit and killed a fleeing criminal from 400 yards out, an incredible feat even today with a calibrated scope, let alone a scopeless .44 caliber Winchester. Territorial newspapers from the time say Reeves took 14 men in self-defense by 1901 and arrested over 3,000 criminals for breaking federal law. Reeves even arrested his own son Benjamin for the murder of his own wife. Like I said in the beginning, these are only stories that the Wild West could achieve in Hollywood fabrications. But someone, fortunately enough for us, actually lived this life. Reeves' life and exploits could not even be matched by your most creative screenplays. Reeves was arguably the best law enforcement figure in United States history. Now, I did not include every last detail about his life. What I wanted to do is bring light onto somebody in U.S. history that may not get enough attention. So do yourself a favor and do some more research on this man. With all that being said, I would like to leave you with a quote from Dr. Art T. Burton, a retired history professor at Prairie State College and South Suburban College, and the author of Black Gun, Silver Star. To me, Bass Reeves is the greatest frontier hero in American history, bar none. I don't know who you could compare him to. This guy walked in the valley of death every day for 32 years and came out alive. So to the man who was never wounded in his line of duty, to the man whose silhouette could put the fear of God in the most hardened outlaw, to the man who was known to have superhuman abilities and strength, and to the man that had no known master but duty. Thank you, Bass Reeves, a true legend of the American West.